What's up, y'all?
It's the Benz fam.
And we are back with another video. So today we are going to discuss, and actually this was a request from y'all.
Yes.
The key elements to a long and healthy relationship. So y'all go ahead, go to our Instagram page, Ash and Wit, and put down what y'all think are the key elements to a long and healthy relationship. And also, if you guys have any story time suggestions, we would love to hear them so that we can touch on those topics. So we were just sitting here talking, and we were talking about like bad attitudes and this and that, and baby was like, yeah, well, I used to have a bitchy attitude and you helped me with that. And I was like, okay. And I was trying to think of like in the same sense what she helped me with, and we decided that I was really moody and she helped me with that. Change and growth were key in our relationships.
I think it's safe to say like that's a key element to a long and healthy and happy relationship, is that like people have to be willing to change and to grow. And they seem like the same thing, which they are somewhat interchangeable, but they're not the same thing, because you can change and not grow.
Yeah, with us, I think that was our biggest issue though, because we weren't dishonest.
Yeah.
Well, baby lied to me one time.
We'll do a story time on that for y'all.
Yeah, we'll
baby don't play that.
But
that only lied once, because she don't play that.
That was one lie, and then we never had to worry about that, which is also very important, because it's like relaxing to be in a situation where you don't have to question what somebody said. Mm-hmm. Like that's never a question in our relationship, so that's not really like anything that we have to worry about.
I feel like that falls under the change and growth though too, because I had become very accustomed to dishonest people, which therefore made me feel like it was okay to be dishonest, because everyone was dishonest in my life. And so it's like, what do I look like being the only person running around here telling the truth about everything? And so that was like another one of those aspects where like I had to make some changes, and I had to be willing to grow in that aspect, and like just tell the truth even when it was hard.
Yeah. As far as like change and all that, we struggled because I'm the call out queen. So I'm gonna call you out on your shit.
Yeah.
That's just part of my personality. A lot of people like it and a lot of people hate it, and I don't know that that's even like a good trait, but
who we should
I feel unauthentic when I don't speak how I really feel. And so like if I care about you, I'm gonna call you out on your shit. If I don't, I probably won't say anything, because I don't really care enough to say anything about it.
Yeah,
so
like
I would call baby out on her stuff and like tell her how certain things made me feel, and she always felt attacked at first.
So I'd always get defensive.
Yeah.
And that was like a change that had to be made too. Just accepting that it's okay for someone to not even criticize you, but to like point out your behaviors and express how those behaviors make them feel, without getting defensive and feeling like the person's attacking you. Like the person's telling you because they love you, and in order to be with you, a change has to be made.
Right. And we also struggled because baby was the type to not ever say anything about anything until she was mad or upset, and then it would be like, well, I'm done because this, and you did this and you did that, or you didn't do this. And then I would be like, well, how am I supposed to ever fix anything when the only time you tell me is when you're done?
Yeah, I'd be like over it. Like, I'm just not going to do this anymore. And it's like, okay, but you haven't given me
the opportunity
to make any of the changes, because you haven't told me what was wrong.
Right. So that's important. And that goes back to what we told y'all in our first story time. Check that out. We're going to put the card right here. You know, I'm bad at that point, and I be pointing all over. Yeah. Oh, hell nah. Hell nah.
Yo, that was an accident.
You got a pregnancy past like a month.
That accident, right, y'all. I laughed and I farted.
Your foot rub is done for now. But anyway,
that was an accident. I'm not gonna laugh that hard again. No, but I'm not gonna laugh that hard again.
I'm gonna need a break for a minute. But anyway, so what were we just saying before you blew my
before my booty rudely interrupted our conversation.
What was we just saying? Oh, it goes back to our last video where we were talking about how communication is so important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't voice how you feel, you can't expect somebody to change what they're doing to make you feel that way.
And you can't expect somebody to just know.
Yeah, you can't expect them to know, and you never know how what you do or what you say or even how you say it makes somebody else feel.
Yeah.
It's not common that somebody's gonna do them and be them every day and then be like, how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, you gotta be able to let people know if you have something that's bothering you. You gotta speak up on it, because if you don't, it's not ever gonna change. And that's what I used to tell her, is like, I am me. So if I'm around all these people and they never point out my flaws or what I do to bother them, I'm always just gonna be me and be that way, because why would I ever think like, oh, this makes them feel like that, or they don't like this? Like, just tell me.
Well, and I think too, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you voice to them how it's necessary for them to make like small changes and they refuse to, and get caught up in, well, I am who I am, so love me for who I am, or don't be with me, or like, well, that's just how I am and it's just how I interact, and like things like that, then that's a huge red flag for you, that that person really doesn't give a damn.
Baby was like that. And so had I just accepted that, but I'm very persistent, so I don't know, I might be different.
Yeah.
Because I could have accepted that and thought that, okay, well, I'm not worth it and she don't want to be with me because she's telling me, well, that's just how I am, well, that's just who I am.
But the thing that was hard about that is that I was telling you things like that, but then I was also like kind of trying.
Yeah, you were, but that's what I mean. You would say it, but your actions always show differently.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy to just give up. But I don't know, that's one thing about Baby, is that anytime I've ever had, I don't even want to say an issue, but like something, she's always made the effort to change it. She might not say that off the top, and she might not agree or acknowledge it, but like I'd rather go off actions than words anyway. So I've learned that with her too, is that like, you don't have to go off of what's said, especially in an argument. You don't go off of that shit. Like, you go off of what they show you on a daily basis.
And you got to do that anyway, though, because I feel like that's how people end up in relationships that are just like not real. Like, you're going off of what somebody said and not what somebody's doing, either in a good way or a bad way. You got to go off people's actions.
Yes.
If somebody's showing you, and like, obviously, if you have a personality trait, it's not like your partner's going to tell you and you're just going to magically erase that personality trait. But you're going to notice effort.
Yes. And if certain things can't be changed, that's like a lack of compatibility. Yeah. And I don't know, because we used to kind of argue about the whole compatibility thing.
Hella argue about
and I don't know if even compatibility is like a real thing. Like, I feel like you compromise and you make things work, because nobody is, I don't know, I don't want to say like nobody is meant for somebody, and some people might get along perfect, but I don't know, we had a lot of differences, and so we used to think we're too different, so this ain't gonna work. And it's so funny, because y'all be like, y'all are such a perfect couple and this and that. We went through some.
We did. And what's weird about us is that like we went through it in the beginning. Like, I feel like obviously like the first 6 months was all, well, the first year was dating cool. And you weren't living here or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Was like cool, because we was, you know, like, you can't really be fighting with somebody that much over long distance, whatever. But that was good too, though, because we really got to know each other without like being up under each other every day, and like without having like the part of moving too fast as lesbians we like to do. And so it like kind of forced us to take it slow and really get to know each other. But anyway, we go on tangents.
No, you had a point with that. It was, wait, what were we saying? You forgot?
We were saying,
oh, that we went through it.
Oh yeah,
we went through it. So like our second year, and it's crazy because you would think in the second year that it's like, I'm not going through this with you. I don't even know you like that.
Yeah.
To be going through all of this with you. We were going through some shit. I think that was probably our roughest year, huh?
Yeah, year 2 was rough.
It was rough, but I don't know. When it sounds so corny, but like when I saw her, I loved her and I wanted her. We went through shit, but I just felt like, and I always tell her this and she laughs, but I swear to God, like I'm here to love her, and I'm here.
She did always tell me that. I was put on this earth to love you.
I was, like, I swear, like, I don't know, like, she was mean to me in the beginning. Like, she was, and I don't know if I liked it.
I was kind of a mean person, though. Like, I just was a little bit, that goes back to, like, I was bitchy.
But she was, like, she resisted every bit of love I had to give her in the beginning.
I did.
And it's weird to me because of, like, my past situations where everybody was on me and on me and on me. And she wasn't, and I was so persistent, and I never gave up. And she like gave me ample opportunities to give up,
reasons to just be like,
to
okay,
be like, all right, like
you don't want to be loved.
Yes,
basically.
And I just didn't, and I don't know, and I'm so happy that I didn't because a lot of things changed.
Yeah,
like, and even though she would always say that they weren't gonna change because of this and because of that and whatever, and they did, and it was almost like they naturally changed.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, like. We would discuss things and then we would go through things and we would have our rough patches and stuff, but like our communication got better. Yes. And she was able to tell me what things bothered her, and when you care about somebody, like those changes almost come natural.
They come natural. And I think too, like it's because it's like, okay, so I love this person and I want to be happy with this person. Like you want to be in a happy relationship, and so it's like if she has something that I'm doing that I either don't realize I'm doing, or it's like a simple fix, then it's like, why am I rubbing your feet all over my hands? I don't know. Then it's like, why would I not make those changes, like to make her happy? Like I want to make her happy, and like it sounds corny, like happy wife, happy life, but like it really is happy. Like happy partner, your life will be happier. If you got a partner that's miserable, your life ain't gonna be good. And so it's like, if I can do a little minor change to make her happy, then our home is happy. Our life is happier when she's happy and vice versa. And I'm not talking about like being in a relationship with somebody who's trying to change you, because like there's a difference between someone trying to change you and being mature enough and adult enough to know that what this person is asking of me really is just a little bit of personal growth.
True. And it's not like we go to each other and be like, you need to change this.
No, because that won't work.
You need to change that.
That like, won't work. Nobody is gonna not be defensive about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like, this bothers me, or you do this. When you do this, I feel this way.
Yes.
And so if they get to kind of decide on how they change that. Yeah. And how they fix that, or whatever they do to make that right.
To make that
you
right.
Don't get to
tell them how to do it or exactly what to do, or it's all really about the communication of it though, because I could go to her and be like, you really need to stop doing this, and you always doing this. Like that's not going to usually end well.
And at one point we figured out not to
do that.
Say what they do. Yeah. It's more of I feel.
And I feel. So it's like, I feel like this when you do that. So that way it's like not so
takes the blame off.
Yeah, because when you start blaming each other, then the other person gets defensive, and it's like, well, you do this or you do that, and then it easily becomes a tit for tat game of like what the other person does.
Like we said in that one video, step 1 is always communication.
Always communication.
Step 2, I think, would be growth.
Yeah.
And then growth and change kind of go together.
Well, and I think too, like the really cool thing about growth though is that like growth in a relationship, like when you're in a relationship with somebody and they like challenge you to grow within the relationship, like that growth doesn't only help you in the relationship, like that growth reflects out into the world.
Yeah, you can help that person be a better person in their whole life.
Like you like, and so like when you're like, that's who you marry. I feel like you marry the person who
challenges you
to grow as a whole individual,
calls you out. Yeah, because like it seems like everybody wants this yes person or this passive person that goes with the flow, but
or everything can just be peachy.
That's not a solid partner.
That's
like
not
a solid partner's not always gonna just agree with you or let you be you and all that.
Yeah.
Like they gotta call you out. They gotta keep it real with you, and you might not even like it half of the time. But that's, I don't know, that's real to me.
Well, so like going back to like how like I was bitchy, like so I was bitchy with the whole world. In order for us to work, that bitchiness had to tone down. I had to soften up a little bit. And in softening up in my relationship with her, like I softened up to the world. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like
it carries on in all of your relationships.
In all of your relationships, and like I don't know, like it's really cool when you find someone who inspires you to change. Like they're not telling you to change
or nagging
you or even really asking you to change. They mention what's wrong, and then you want to change for that person.
Yes. And that's in my opinion, that's how you know it's real. And I'm sure that you've been in situations where people wanted this from you or that from you, and you don't do it because
you don't care.
And it's not to say that you at that moment you don't care about that person, but that, to me, that's not the one for you.
Yeah.
Like if you don't naturally change and it's like so hard, or you really don't want to, or you don't see the point in it, or if you see that in your partner, that's a big red flag. Like she said, you kind of got to evaluate it, because when it's right, it just feels natural. Like she said, you want to do it. It's not like a chore.
We kind of talked about the main areas where we helped each other grow and become, literally, like I feel like I'm a much better person, and like I feel like she still challenges me to grow every day. I like that. Growth isn't always comfortable. Complacency is comfortable, but to be able to look at myself when I met her, and to like look at the woman that I am now, and really be able to be like, I am a better person because of her. Like I'm better in the whole world, my whole life, like my whole attitude is better, like because of her. Like that's like I feel like that's a powerful glue that holds us together.
We got game today.
I do. I feel like it's a powerful glue that holds us together.
And her too. I feel like she's challenged me more than anybody in probably all of the situations I've ever been involved in, the situationships.
Yeah, because it wasn't no relationship.
No relationship. But for real, her being reluctant to everything and not just always, like she's always made me prove it. And I've always told her that. Like I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah.
And I like a strong person and somebody who has an opinion and somebody who feels strongly about what they believe. And we were talking about our top 3 things, and I think one of the top 3 things that she's helped me to learn is compromise. My way is
was not compromising with nobody. It was her way.
I'm always used to being the only boss, and when you're in a relationship, y'all are both bosses. You know, you don't boss each other around. You rule together.
Yes.
So we both bosses. I don't need to boss her around. Everything doesn't need to be my way. And used to it was my way or the highway, and that's like literally. It was really literally
like,
how I used to.
There was really no other way other than her way of doing things.
And so that she helped me with that. The other one would be, they all kind of go together for me.
Yeah.
It was like my stubborn set ways. So the other one, in my opinion, would be accepting people for like where they're at, because like everybody's not on the same level. Everybody doesn't think the same way. Everybody hasn't had the same experiences. And she taught me that, because like with me, if we can't communicate and you ain't on my level, and I'm not saying I'm on a better level than you, but like if we can't see eye to eye and you're stupid to me and it's like I can't do you, then I just don't mess with you. Like that's it, you blew it, I'm done. I don't mess with you like that.
Yeah.
So she had to kind of teach me to where it's like, it's really not that serious.
And some people are just where they're at, and like,
and some people really don't know no better. Not she taught me that, where it's like, I'm like, okay, that's common sense, but she'd be like, to who?
Yeah.
Because everybody doesn't have the same common sense. That I still struggle with, but
Yeah.
we're working on that. We're working on that. And then the other one would be to get over it, because I am the grudge holder of life now. I still hold grudges.
But you don't dwell like you used to.
Yeah, I used to dwell on.
You used to dwell.
So now I can get over it. Like, I can be in a bad mood at 5 o'clock, and by like 7, I'll be cool.
She need 2 hours.
I need a little bit of time.
She don't get right over it.
But yeah, so my 3 would be what? Compromise. Let it go. Accept people for where they're at.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, baby's helped me with so many things. But if I had to pick 3, I think I'm gonna pick 5 just because I want to.
Because you like to be bossy.
Compromise.
You like to be bossy.
Because I like to be bossy sometimes. No, let's see. So mine, I don't know. I was a lot younger than her, and so
keep saying that.
Well, so like being a young woman in a relationship,
and I was just so old.
No, but 7 years is
okay. Gosh,
solid. Like, it's a solid amount. And so,
I don't care. I'm proud to be an old baggy bag.
Like, there's a lot. Like, when you are in an intimate relationship with another woman, like as a woman, like there's a lot that you can learn from that other woman. You know what I mean? And so, main thing though, like main thing that baby has helped me with, and I'm still growing in it, is finding my voice. I'm definitely like learning to speak up in the relationship with her, because she was like, you got to speak up. Like, you have to tell me. If you don't tell me, I can't change things. Like, things can't shift if you don't tell me. Communicate with me and like have those difficult conversations. So now I feel comfortable having difficult conversations with other people, in like family members and other relationships. I feel comfortable letting people know that I'm not going to accept this from you. Which kind of goes into like the boundaries that I've learned to. Like, baby's really helped me to understand that it's okay to set boundaries. Now, that doesn't mean don't talk to people or like things like that, but it just means protect your space. And like, if this person, when they come around, they rattle your space, like, it's okay to set some boundaries with that person. And be
but
like,
you ain't gotta cut them off for your whole life.
But yeah, I don't have to never talk to them people again, because that's how I was. Like, hey, I don't like how that person makes me feel. I'm just not ever gonna talk to them.
You just avoid it.
Just avoid it forever. Like my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, never talk to that person again. And so learning that it's okay to set boundaries and to protect my space. But you have to communicate with those boundaries. Because if you don't communicate with those boundaries, people can't change, one. And then, damn, messed that up. People can't change, and then you don't give people the opportunity to make changes that maybe they would make for...
If they knew better.
If they knew better, they would. And the other really important one was openness. Softness. Learning to soften up a little bit. The whole world wasn't out to get me. She wasn't out to get me. She wasn't trying to get in close to hurt me. Like, she was trying to get in close to love me. And I don't know, it was a very powerful thing when, like, her and I got into this huge blowout fight, and we were talking about like not being together anymore, and she was just telling me, you gotta let me love you. I'm just trying to love you, and you just refuse. Like, you do not want to be loved. That's all I'm trying to do, is love you. It's like, in becoming more open in my relationship with her, like, I just became more open to love, period, and being able to recognize and accept love coming from different places. But we'll stick to those 3. Fighting for things that matter to you. That was a big one, because I was always ready to run, and baby was like, if this matters, like, let's fight for it. And glad I did, because that's how we are still here.
True. So we could go on and on. But I'm telling you, y'all want to get to them rough patch stories. We'll get to them later. So go hit us up on IG, Ash and Wit. Let us know what your, give us maybe your top 3,
or even just your opinion on what we talked about.
Yeah, anything. Chat with us. And let us know what other storytime topics you would like to discuss or have conversations with us about.
Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. Let's get them likes up.
Let's get them likes up, and let's get to 50K, y'all.
Yes, we're getting there slowly.
Slowly rolling.
We love y'all, and Thanks for rolling.
I holla.